So we finally have the spoilers for chapter 10 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, and let's just say that Himawari is about to go crazy. First we have Sarada versus Hidari, we have Boruto continuing to run from Kawaki, and we also have the death of Inojin, which actually led into Himawari going crazy and tapping into the power of the Nine Tails. So we have a lot to discuss, but of course we're gonna start from the top. So the cover page of chapter 10 is the Nine Tails and Himawari, which actually confirms the color of the Nine Tails, which is the same color as it was before, which confirms that it isn't a silver Nine Tails, sadly, but it is what it is. Now, as was revealed in the early spoilers, Sarada did in fact fight Hidari, and this caused a lot of discourse on Boruto Twitter as it relates to power scaling, because it's kinda insane that a 3-Tome Sharingan Sarada is able to dodge Hidari, a portion of the Ten Tails that has a Renegon. So it is quite interesting. Now this chapter even makes it way more interesting since she not only dodges his attack here but also strikes him with her own Chidori. So this guy is amped by a Renegon, the Ten Tails power, and he's also amped by the Chidori because it does amp your speed, and she was able to dodge it and then counter him using her own Chidori. Now I did see some people making some arguments that, you know, the Sharingan allows you to predict movements by looking at the muscle fibers and how they twitch and all that lovely stuff, which is true, but you have to remember that that also has to take into account the speed of the person. So that's why Naruto was able to like blitz Sasuke while he was using the Sharingan. Sasuke had to upgrade his Sharingan even further to keep up with Naruto. So in essence, the person using the ability of the Sharingan to predict movements has to be proportional in power to the person they're trying to predict. So yeah, Sarada is at least relative in power to Hidari to be able to dodge him. And then you also have to factor in that she was able to do this after he tried to attack her at point blank range using a surprise attack from behind. And then you also have the fact that he wasn't able to dodge the attack that she launched later on. So either Sarada is on his level, maybe she's a little bit stronger, maybe, or maybe she's just like relative to Hidari. Now this doesn't mean that Sarada is now Ishiki level, because nothing has confirmed that Jura is Ishiki level, much less Hidari, who is at least implied to be below Jura in power, right? So we'll have to just see how that plays out, but that's basically what happens here. You know, he tries to attack her, she counters, strikes him, he actually gets up from the attack itself, so he wasn't badly damaged. So this does upscale his durability quite a bit. Now then switch over to Boruto, who is still hiding from Kawaki because he can't deactivate the Karma Seal. It's still active on his right hand, and it seems like he's communicating this to Shikamaru, but this hasn't been translated as yet, so we'll have to just wait and see. But we also have Kawaki there. It seems like he's figured out that Boruto is communicating with Shikamaru, and he kind of rushes off to go hunt down Boruto once again, because Shikamaru suggested that they focus on the actual active enemies attacking the village instead of focusing on Boruto, which is the correct thing to do. But Kawaki is kinda a maniac at this point. He's not making any sense. He's just thinking on emotion and he wants to get rid of Boruto, so that's all he's focused on at this point in time. Now this might lead into Kawaki actually killing Shikamaru, because he's kinda a maniac in that sense. He might actually do it. Like the guy literally tried to kill Sarada, a member of his team. So like Shikamaru isn't off the table, and he actually doesn't like Shikamaru, so I can see that happening, you know, but we'll have to wait and see. Now that's when we switch over to the most important part of the chapter, which you guys have been waiting for, of course, which is the Nine Tails and Himawari. Now this part is really interesting, and it's really dialogue heavy, so it's a lot of talking, but not too many translators ready to translate the chapters for Boruto for some weird reason, but hopefully that changes in the future. But we did get some of the panels translated here, and this is why I say it's very interesting. So based on this rough translation, and again this is a rough translation, so guys, this isn't the exact verbiage and you shouldn't take it as gospel. This will change when the chapter comes out. It's just to give you a rough idea of what is being said. So what he's saying here is that you must have inherited a fragment of my chakra from birth. The Uzumaki and Hinata blood flowed to you, so it's fate. Now again, this is really rough, but I think in essence what he's saying is that Himawari was born with a portion of his chakra, and also that she's part Uzumaki and part Hyuga, which means that she has both Hagoromo's and Hamura's bloodline flowing within her. So it's fate. So it seems like he's saying that there's some connection there, which is why he was able to reincarnate in Himawari, because she has this bloodline for some reason. Now they might need to expound on this a bit further. Maybe they did it in this chapter with the proper translations, but in essence I feel like Kurama is saying that he came back to this realm, or he came back within Himawari's body, because his chakra within her body from she was born basically served as a tether that drew his consciousness towards her. And I did mention this in my video about Himawari possessing this borrowed mode version of Kurama, and explained that the reason why Boruto might not have been eligible is because of Momoshiki's presence within Boruto's body. And then you have the case with Naruto where Sakura basically confirmed that he didn't have any trace of Kurama's chakra left inside him. So the only person eligible for this process was Himawari, which is why he chose her. Now I just want to say that it hasn't been fully confirmed based on these translations whether this Kurama remembers his past, because he does describe what happened, that he died during a battle and that he used to be inside her father, Himawari's father. But the way he's speaking, it doesn't seem like he's the same Kurama. He basically tells Himawari that she can call him whatever she wants and pretty much reaffirms what she said about his past with Naruto. But at the same time, based on these translations, these rough translations, he does also say that her chakra is better than any other predecessors, and also that it's enough to surpass even the likes of Naruto in that regard. So it does seem like it's the same Kurama and he does possess his memories, which would be cool. I think that's fine. But we'll have to just wait and see on the proper translations to confirm what is being said, you know, and if it's actually the real Kurama or just a Kurama that's just referencing information he's collected since he's resurrected within Himawari's body, because he has been there for a very long time. It's been 3 years. With that said, we then switch over to Team 10. We're still with Himawari because they're trying to take her away from Jura. Jura is flying behind them. Now I'm not sure if Jura is flying as fast as he possibly can, because if he was, you'd assume that he would be able to catch up to a bird, you know? But maybe he isn't, right? He then does this Biju bomb and then uses it to destroy a part of the bird's wing, which causes them to fall from the sky, which prompts Chocho to expand and basically be a cushion for them to fall on. Now based on the dialogue that was shown here, it seems like Himawari was gassed up by the Nine Tails, telling her that she needs to step up and be strong, and she rushes in trying to kick Jura, but Jura just catches her feet or her foot and then snaps it, which actually reminds me of what Ishiki did to Boruto, which does once again link back to like Jura being like a copy of Ishiki, but that's way besides the point. We're not going to get into that in this video. So yeah, Jura pretty much dismantles Himawari, then tries to encase her in a tree like he did the last time, and then Inojin tries to attack him. He steps in his chest or basically elbows him. He falls to the ground, and then you have this like typical scene where the character tries to grab onto the feet of the enemy while he's getting pummeled. I'm not gonna give up, and then like he just like impels him. Like it's crazy. Like this dude might actually be dead, you know? He might actually be dead. It's kind of sad, but at the same time I don't particularly care, you know? But yeah, it is what it is. So Inojin gets stabbed, and you know, he's the best friend of Himawari, so she starts to cry. Shikada is doing his best Shikamaru interpretation. They're just standing and like shouting and not doing anything, and Himawari powers up. She taps into the power of the Nine Tails finally, and the Nine Tails seems a bit proud, you know? He's like, yeah, let's do this, let's cause some chaos. And that's where the chapter pretty much ends. So we have this cool like panel of Himawari like charging up, and her hair is like into the 9 parts, so it's separated into 9 parts, similar to the Barin mode stuff with the cape. So that's pretty cool. It's also referencing Kushina as well, so this might be indicating that she's using Barin mode, but also at the same time it might not be. And I just want to clarify that some people are seeing the markings around their eyes and saying that yeah, it's Barin mode because of the markings. That's not true, because Naruto also had like the markings around his eyes when he went into the Kyuubi cloak in Shippuden, so it's not really Barin mode, but it could be, we'll see. Hopefully it is. But yeah, that was the spoilers for chapter 10. We have Himawari like tapping into the Nine Tails. We have no confirmation of whether it's Barin mode or not. We have no confirmation if it's the same Kurama or not, but it does seem like it is. And we also have the first confirmed death from the new gen, which is interesting. So yeah, we see how that plays out in the upcoming chapter. Well, I shouldn't say confirmed death, because they can like pull off anything. Maybe she heals him using Nine Tails chakra, because Naruto, like, it's crazy. Naruto is able to like heal Sasuke's entire body when he got burnt by Momoshiki just by using the cloak, and he never does this again. It's so crazy. Like the Nine Tails chakra is very potent, and I also have this like very interesting thing that leads into the 100 healing seal. That video is gonna come out on Saturday, so I'll see you guys on that one. It somewhat links into the Momoshiki thing that we also touched on in this chapter with Boruto, and also with Sarada, because I think she's very important to what happens to Momoshiki, but we're gonna get to that point. With that said, guys, let me know your thoughts on the spoilers. Do you think it was great? Do you think the chapter is meh? You know, rate it from 1 to 10 maybe, you know? And then we'll also like discuss the actual chapter when it comes out on the 20th. So yeah, with that said, again, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.